Hey, everybody, it's Trash Talk because it's Tuesday morning and it's 8 o'clock and we both got our coffee. We're ready to go. Take a sip. Yeah, now we're
Now
awake.
we're ready.
Yeah, now we're ready. We weren't ready before, but take a sip of coffee and we are ready to go. And you know who else is ready to go? And that is our good friend Irving Chung. He is a franchise specialist. You know, maybe you never thought in your wildest dreams you could ever get into franchising, but lately I talked to him last week, and there are some incredible new franchises that are coming up that are really low cost to get into. And you know, maybe you've got an idea for a business and you want to franchise it. Talk to Irving. He may help you. You know, he's a good guy, and he'll give you a free consultation too. Just reach out to him.
I think I need a franchise, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll franchise Trash Talk.
You know, what would that even mean?
I don't know. But we probably yes, you could Trash Talk wherever you live. There's a Trash Talk. We'll put one on every corner, right next to Starbucks.
Perfect.
Starbucks and sit down and do some Trash Talk. And we'll sell our franchises for $10-12.
Why not?
You know, I mean, we want to make a killing at this.
It'll get us a gallon of gas. Everything will be fine. Yeah. Hey, you know, I'm looking in your background and just realized what it was. You look like you're in like a crack house. What's going on back there?
Well, we got into a discussion earlier about hoarding. And I'm thinking, you know, well, you got a trash heap behind you and all, and I kind of got a trash heap, except mine is called collectibles.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It's stuff that you don't want to get rid of.
Collecting dust.
Well, yeah, but you know how you take care of collecting dust? You take the piece that's on top, and you take the one from underneath, and you put that one on top now.
That's accurate.
So you bury the dust, you know. Except
hoarding.
Don't sneeze.
Wow. Yeah, hoarding. That's crazy. That's a thing. Like that's an extreme hoarding, what you're looking at behind you right there. I mean, but you know what? It's so common, more than you realize.
You know, and if each of us stops and think about it, there's probably something that we collect, and all that we probably don't need as many of. I'm guessing one of them for you is coffee cups.
Yeah, you would be right if I didn't have two left hands. My ability to break a coffee cup is my superpower. I drop coffee cups. No, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I drop coffee cups on a regular basis, but you are on the right track. It used to be beer glasses.
Okay.
Not just pint glasses, but you know, they have so many amazing beer glasses. I used to do pint nights all the time. So we'd have a brewery come in, they'd have a beer and they'd bring a glass, buy the beer, keep the glass. Well, when you work for the place that's hosting it, you just get the glass, you know.
Well, and most of them had their logos on it.
Oh, Stuart, my collection is whittled down now, but I still have two of the big Tupperware bins in the garage with glasses. Every glass in my cabinet is a beer glass, except for plastic. I've got some amazing ones, really good designs. They're really cool. The problem is, I don't use them. I only use the ones that are in the cabinet, occasionally rotate them, some snifters. I don't use them. Yeah. And that's not including the half I left with my ex when we got a divorce. So yeah, you're right. What am I going to do, you know?
And for a while, one of the things that we used to have a lot of was Koozies, because everywhere you went, you would get a different koozie, you know, and yeah. So you know, so there was one for every beer company, and then there was one whenever you entered any kind of an athletic event or whatever, and you got a little swag bag, there was always a koozie inside of it. Some of them were the kind of hard hard ones. The others were like folded. Those were great because you could put about 40 or 50 of them in a drawer.
Well, and the great thing, so I have a lot of koozies. I have them two spots. I have my camping koozies, ones I throw in like my camping stuff so we could take camping. That's okay. And then I've got a little plastic box in my cabinet of koozies. A lot of them, again, concerts, events, breweries that aren't around anymore. Then I've got the pint glass koozies. You can put a pint glass in them. Then I got the beer bottle koozies, the whole beer bottle.
Right.
I love koozies, man. I'm with you. You know what? When Luke was little and used to drink his bottles, I put a koozie on his bottle. I got pictures of him with a koozie.
Well, it served a purpose because it helped him grip the bottle better too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I still got those too, man.
And another one that I'll bet you is T-shirts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I know every time you turn any event you go to, if there's a T-shirt available, it's going home with you.
Absolutely, man. Again, going back to the beer days, to the bar days, man, my beer reps knew the way to my heart. Hey, Brandon, I'm going to get you that limited beer. And oh, by the way, have this T-shirt. Here, take it, man. Absolutely. Yeah, you can bring your beer in here. I'm easy, man. You give me a T-shirt, give me good beer. I'm easy. I have so many shirts, man. So many.
But you wouldn't call that hoarding, would you?
No, because they're nice and neat and they're hanging up. And I do get rid of some. I do. It takes a long.
There's some people that are that way about magazines and comic books and stuff.
Or newspapers.
I mean, my brother-in-law and all is a collector of comic books and everything. And he goes back to comic books from their origin. He's got first editions. He's got one whole room in his house that he outfitted with bookcases specifically to organize all of his comic books. And initially I thought it was hysterical. What are you going to do? Do you read all of these? And he has read at least all of them once, but then he told me what that room is worth.
That's what I'm saying. That's not hoarding. That's money.
Yeah. That's where you kind of turn the corner between the definition of hoarding and collecting.
I probably have about, for comics, maybe 200, maybe 300 in the comic protective boxes. I'm keeping those because, again, not that many, but there are some first editions, the Death of Superman in package, the Death of Robin in package. So I love them. I don't think I'll ever get back into comic books because it's pricey, but I do love them. And I find it fascinating when people have those. Like, I would probably sit in that room for days.
Well, and those printed comic books, they increase in value every year because there's less and less of them being printed because everything is online now.
Well, absolutely. And look what the movies have done for those comic books now. Yeah. So they're in high demand for people that didn't even. When I bought the Death of Superman, I bought that for like $3. Maybe $5.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I looked at it,
Yeah. And then you find yourself saying, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm gonna just start weeding this stuff out. I'm gonna get rid of half of it. And then you go online and you say, let me see this comic book. I bought it for $3. It's worth $350. Nope, that one stays. Go on to the next. And you realize that you're living with all this stuff that's really valuable, but when do you get to the point where you say, okay, it's time to cash in?
When you don't got a place to live, if I lost my job, look, I'll tell you now, and I've been in positions like that before where I was like, I needed money fast. I'm like, it's time to sell stuff. I sold my baseball card collection. I have just a handful of ones that are for sale right now, and they're worth, $25 a pop. $10, $30, cards that are definitely good, not hundreds. But I sold my baseball card collection about 2.5 years ago, when I was moving. And I sold that. I did just kind of a rough estimate. There could be a card in there worth $1,000 for all I know. I doubt it. But I looked at a majority of the cards. I sold the thing for $300, $400, I think.
Just got for my grandson for his birthday. We had got he wanted this Pokemon, which I didn't know really what Pokemon was, and it's basically like trading cards,
Yeah.
And he got this deluxe set, which I don't even want to tell you how much we paid for
I
this
could
deluxe
guess.
set. Yeah. But he goes through them one by one and he recognizes them. And all of a sudden there's this one, he looks at it and he says, whoa, I got this one. This is worth $1,000. I'm thinking, what, for these stupid little caricatures on a card.
I don't get it. Is he going to sell it? He better sell it now.
And it's just because we bought this thing and it had like 300 or 400 cards in it. And just to get started, but he's got the book and I think it's a great idea for kids to collect something, whether it's stamps or coins or whatever, to do a collection. When I was a kid, I don't know why, but I collected rocks.
Everybody does that.
Yeah, and my mother would go crazy because I had bags of rocks and boxes of rocks and Ziploc bags with rocks. And wherever we would go, I'd have to get a rock, which was cool because when you go to the Grand Canyon, you want to come back with a piece of the Grand Canyon or something. But I mean, yeah. Wherever I would go, I would pick up a rock, and she would sit there and just.
Luke does that. Whenever we go camping to a new camp place or whatever, he brings the rock back. Now, Some of them have gone out of they're gone. I got rid of them. But there's some that sit in the garage. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I move it, he's going to notice. He's going to be like, Dad, where'd that rock go? And I'm like, I'm going to leave it there till you're ready to not care anymore, dude.
Yeah. Well, and shells was another thing. When we used to travel, and you'd go to the beach, you'd always have to pick up shells. And I mean, how many different kinds of shells are there? It's not like, oh, this shell was from, Cape Cod, and this shell was from Cancun. And when it was just shells in a big brandy sniffer was always a big one to collect. You'd get the biggest brandy sniffer you could find, and then you'd fill it with either shells. Some people collected corks, wine bottle corks. That was a
wine thing. Like it's a wine bottle and you fill it with corks. And every time I go back to Michigan, I'm like, well, I can see what you've been doing.
Yeah. In college, we had a collection of Richard's Wild Irish Rose wine bottles, because it was putrid stuff, but it came in everything from the little half-pint bottles up to the gallon jugs, and so on your windowsill you had you'd finish the wine, but you never threw the bottle away. You'd save it. For what purpose? I don't know.
It's every kid, every college. I had liquor bottles all up on top of my shelf, or every time we'd finish it, unless it was a duplicate bottle, we didn't want duplicates, but there'd be just Jägermeister up there. I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
well, either that or if it was a duplicate, you'd put it in a drawer someplace or in a closet, just in case you broke the one that was on display. You had a backup.
We got really stupid. We put water in them, and then we put glow sticks in them.
Yeah. Did you ever know anybody that collected plants?
No.
I had a friend that actually turned his 2-bedroom apartment almost like into a greenhouse. He had stands and all over the place, and he had all kinds of different plants. I mean, it would take him 2 hours to go around once a week and just put a little bit of water in each one of the plants.
Yeah, I don't want to get to that level, but I could understand having a lot. It's peaceful and all that. But this different. That might be borderline hoarding. The collecting, that's even if it's dumb stuff like liquor bottles, that's not so much hoarding. What the hoarding that freaks me out, that's definitely a mental thing with people, is when they've got, a room full of newspapers stacked to the ceiling. They don't look at them. They just have them. Or bottles, empty bottles, and they don't throw them away. They don't recycle them. They're just in bags. They don't want to recycle them because they might need them. But yet, nope, that's a mental thing. There's something wrong. And it's something that just, it's weird.
I think I'm going to start collecting plastic bottles because pretty soon they're probably going to be outlawed. And you won't be able to buy anything in a plastic bottle anymore because this ecology thing and all. And then I'll have this collection and I can sell a collection for a few bucks.
Well, look, the whole recycling game, that whole market crashed back in 2008 anyway. That recycling thing's a scheme anyway, Nobody does that anymore.
When you were a kid, did you go around picking up glass bottles because there was like a 2-cent deposit on them, and you used to go, dumpster diving to get glass bottles and take them to the store and cash them in?
Well, it was 5 cents in my day and 10 cents.
Whoa.
Smaller. Yeah, when we first moved to South Lyon, we were in a new subdivision. So there was a lot of homes being built and all that. So me and my buddy would get on our bike. We'd attach the wagon to the back of the bike, hit up all the construction sites, and we'd go cash them in at Meijer and get our ticket, get our cash. And that was our spending money. We did that a lot.
Yeah, I think anybody that's watching this show probably says, yeah, I remember I used to collect this. Nobody says they hoarded it. They all say they collected it.
But there is a significant, okay, I haven't hoarded. I can say in my life, I haven't hoarded anything. I might have kept too many of them. But to me, that, again, when I think of hoarding, I think about those shows, where a woman hasn't seen her floor in 5 years because there's, 15,000 bags of kitty litter and she doesn't have a cat.
Or she had a cat. The cat's gone, and that's how she remembers the cat.
And it always turns into the nasty stuff. You notice that with hoarding?
Yeah.
It always turns into, well, I bought all these trash bags and then I filled them and I forgot to take the trash out. It's like and they sleep in like a bed of filth. So it's a mental thing. It's weird. I'm calling you people out. No, I feel bad for them because something.
Here we are, two guys that get together with you every Tuesday, and we talk about trash. Talking about hoarding or putting yourself in that kind of a position. But hey, that's who we are, and it's what we do, and we're sticking to it.
I've gotten better as I've gotten older, mostly because my living space has shrunk. Now my biggest thing that I hoard is probably toys. But yeah, it's hard because you can get wrapped up into that easily.
Now, with all of the years that I was a runner, I never threw away a T-shirt that you'd get at a running event, whether it fit or not. If it was just a plain old nothing T-shirt, it went in the trunk of the car and you used it to wipe the car, or to wipe the windshield if it got dirty or something. But you never threw a T-shirt away. And also, I don't know why, but I had a book that I collected all my race numbers.
Oh,
and I would just take a marker, and on it I would put the date of the race or whatever, and I would put my running time. And
That's
you want to know something? I haven't run in 25 years, and I think I still have that book with all those running numbers. For what purpose? I don't know.
Well, see, to me, I look at that as like you can give to your kids. Maybe your kids want it one day when you're long gone. I don't know, like to tell stories about. I don't know. Yeah,
you give it to your kids, and your kids go,
well, yeah, that's my thought process. Like I have all my stuff from the climbs every year. The climb I keep. I haven't looked at it since I did it. So one day Luke's going to inherit that pile.
Yeah, and you figure that's, you call it an inheritance. They call it garbage, and all. But I don't have, the ability to say, oh, I'm just going to throw it away. So what do? You will it to your kids. Let them throw it away.
You know what? It's payback for all the years that I had to clean up the cars and stepping on Legos and stuff.
Yeah. Well, don't start me on the Lego thing, because my grandson, ooh, he was into Legos, and from the simple stuff to, I think he has in his room probably every Star Wars Lego kit that they ever made, and he put them all together, and they are up on a shelf in his, from the smallest little figures up to the full size. I forgot the name of the Star Wars things.
I love it. I think it's really cool, but what do you do with it?
Yeah, but when I was a kid, we used to build model airplanes.
Yeah.
And you build the model airplanes, and then you'd save them. And eventually, once you went to college, then Mom would start to throw them away one at a time. And I'd come home from college and I'd say, "Hey, Mom, what happened to my Mutiny on the Bounty?"
My cousin used to do that with cars, with race cars. And they weren't remote control; they were just model cars. Right.
And my mother's answer always was, "Oh, the cleaning lady knocked it off the shelf."
You're like, we don't even
and
have
it broke. So I got rid. Oh, well. Oh, okay. She went through more cleaning ladies.
Right. It's always the cleaning lady.
Yeah, right. You're not gonna take the blame herself. Well, anyway, we collect things. We don't hoard them. Like koozies and baseball cards and shot glasses, and matchbooks. I know somebody that still has probably 12,000 matchbooks.
I only have the one. So when I worked at this bar, I won't say the name, but they had multiple locations and they got matchbooks done, and it had all the locations on there. When I left this bar and then half those locations closed, I took an entire box. I still have those because I don't use it, but they come in handy for camping. That's the only matchbooks. I don't even know if they make matchbooks anymore.
It's hard. I think it's hard to find them anywhere. In fact, I went someplace a week or so ago, and somebody wanted to light some candles, and they said, "Does anybody have a lighter?" We couldn't light the candles. Nobody had a light. I mean, everybody used to have a Zippo or one of those, some kind of a lighter. Could not find a book of matches. Couldn't find one of those little trigger type things that we've got a bunch of them at home, but you can never find it when you need it, unless you go to somebody that hoards. And if you were to walk into this house right behind me or something and say, "Hey, listen, I need some matches." "Oh, I got them over here." Whatever you need, I got it.
Yeah, you need some matches to light that place on fire and call it a day.
That was the other thing I always thought. Somebody that collects matchbooks and everything, what if they ever get a fire in the house? Man, is that going to accelerate it?
It's weird.
So, just like the other thing you don't want to collect is firecrackers.
No, bad idea. Bad
idea. But we do have a good idea for you, and that is to join us again next week right here for another edition of Trash Talk, 8:00 Tuesday mornings. Be there.
Right.
We'll be here. Okay.
Maybe. Yep.
Bye.